Hey, I'm Olivia, and you're listening to Soarin Around WDW. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Soarin Around WDW. Today, I am joined again with my husband, Madison, and he is back this week to talk about our past memories from our trip to California when we went to Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure in 2018, but also to talk about our upcoming trip that when this episode premieres, we will actually be driving from Yosemite to Disneyland. So that is exciting. So welcome back, Maddie.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So now in 2018, we went to Disneyland, and it was both of our first times going there. It was a similar trip to what we're about to do in that we basically did one day at Disney's California Adventure and one day at actual Disneyland. But I'm pretty sure we did it reverse and did Disneyland first and then Disney California Adventure second. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. So we stayed at the Holiday Inn and Suites of Anaheim, which is off South Walnut Street, right behind the Mickey and Friends parking structure, and we walked a ton. We had a rental car, but we did not drive it and park at the parks because, like I said, we were literally staying right behind the parking structure. But it was about a 20-minute walk, and it was a little over a mile to the actual park entrance from our hotel. I remember walking about 10 to 15 miles a day on this trip just in general. But basically, to give you some background, we did this trip for Maddie's graduation from Duke in 2018 from PT school. And we did an Amtrak train trip, which was really cool. It was just the two of us, pre-kids. And we flew from Raleigh to Seattle and took the Amtrak train down. Do you remember all the stops we did? Seattle?
Portland, Monterey, San Francisco, Burbank, Anaheim, LA, and San Diego.
And then we also went to Napa when we were in the San Francisco area with a rental car. But yeah, so we took the train down. By the time we got to Burbank is when we kind of got off the train permanently. So we would do a day or two stops in each of the cities. It was a 2-week trip. And when we got to Burbank, we got off the train and we got a rental car, which was a funny experience with Avis that actually we got a rental car and so this was 2018 and it was May, so I hadn't turned 25 yet. You were 25 and I had put my name on the rental, but if you're under 25, you get charged more for the rental. So we went to go pick up the rental car from Avis and the girl was like, you're not 25, so you have this like $200 surcharge or something. And again, Maddie just graduated from school. I had been working as a nurse that whole time, but we were like really budgeting on this trip. We were walking everywhere, trying to save money, not really taking Ubers. And so I was really mad and I was like, okay, we'll change it to his name. She's like, well, then it's going to be a reservation change. It's $200 anyway. And so I was like, whatever, we'll eat the cost. We get to the car and I'm like yelling about this girl to Maddie in the rental car. And I'm like, this girl, she's so horrible. And the girl knocks on the window and is like, you forgot your sunglasses. So it was like super embarrassing. So that was our horrible Avis experience and I was super embarrassed and I wasn't like cussing her out or anything, but I was just like, she's so stupid, why don't they tell me about the stupid charge? Like I was really mad. So anyway, we got our rental car and in Burbank we did the Warner Brothers studio tour. So if you're not from California and you're going on a trip to the area and you're going to be in Anaheim and you have an extra day, I highly recommend that. I think that was one of our favorite parts of that too. I mean, we had a lot of awesome memories on that 2-week trip, but the Warner Brothers tour was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time for sure. I
Yeah.
remember all the stops that we had while we were there, like all the movies and things that we saw.
Yeah,
they were filming something while we were there.
They were filming something, which was a bummer because we didn't get to go on the Gilmore Girls lot.
Gilmore Girls?
They weren't filming that, but
okay.
No, it was like on the same area as like Gilmore Girls, the main square and everything. So we did not get to see that section, but we got to see the set of, what's that show? Big Bang Theory. And we got to see a couple of sets of like some like it was basically like a police office. Like, that's what it was supposed to look like. We saw Harry Potter stuff. We saw all the DC.
Yeah, all the DC stuff was pretty cool.
All the Batmobiles and stuff.
Batmobile and stuff. That was really cool.
And then obviously Friends was like the big thing there. So we got to see like the Friends cat. We are like, it's so funny. I know, don't hate us. We are not big Friends people. And it's not because we wouldn't like it or I wouldn't like it. Maddie's not really into shows like that. But I literally have seen maybe 2 episodes. And it was back when
we're not fans of it. We just haven't.
We're not as familiar with
it. I mean, we are also like late adopters to The Office.
True.
And
Parks and Rec
and everything. So
Schitt's Creek. Yeah.
We're just late to some of those shows.
Yeah. So it was cool to see the Friends stuff, but that wasn't the highlight. I know that's the highlight for a lot of people. So yeah, that was really cool. And then we got our rental car and went to Anaheim to go to Disneyland, and that was amazing. I mean, again, this was our first time. I had never been. Maddie had never been, so getting to experience it for the first time together was great. And like I said, we did 1 day at each park, so we got to kind of take our time. We didn't want to do the hopper, and when we went, it was like the end of our trip, towards the end of our trip, so like end of May. And I just remember it being warm during the day, but then pretty chilly at night. Once the sun went down, it got pretty cold. So yeah, it was a great trip. We had a good time. There were definitely some favorite attractions. So let's get into some memories about that. So what did you love most at Disneyland, and how does it compare to Disney World for you?
Oof. I honestly might need a reminder of the rides there, or at least the popular rides that are there.
So at Disneyland compared to California Adventure, so Disneyland, like their Space Mountain, I think is better.
I don't remember it.
It was you sit side by side.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But their Splash, you sit front to back. And then Big Thunder there, it's similar, but Haunted Mansion
is cool there.
Yeah, I like their Haunted Mansion exterior better.
Cool. Yeah, I do remember that.
For sure. And I'm trying to think what else was there when we went at Disneyland, because when we were there, unfortunately, Pirates was undergoing refurbishment, and I believe It's a Small World was also undergoing refurbishment, so we didn't get to do either of those. Mr. Toad.
I don't know. Low key, the only ones I really remember are the mountain one.
Matterhorn Mountain,
and then...
What do you remember about that?
I just remember being very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Super uncomfortable. And then I also remember the... was it Finding Nemo or something?
Oh, yes, the submarines were horrible. That was horrible.
I just remember those are the 2 rides that I vividly like very much. I also remember Haunted Mansion, but I don't remember like too much about it, honestly.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about those submarines when I was on Idiot's Guide to Imagineering, because Steven like also hates those submarines, and I was like, dude, yeah, that it is like really like, and I'm not claustrophobic, but it made me feel like claustrophobic and like we were gonna drown, and I don't know
why I like that ride so much. It was just cool.
You liked the Nemo one?
I liked it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember you like. You can take Eiley on it.
Maybe it's just the ones I remember. So.
Oh my gosh, I do not. No, I did not like that ride at all. I do remember their Buzz being similar to Men in Black at Universal, where you take out the gun to shoot it, versus our Buzz when it's like stuck.
Yeah, no.
You don't remember?
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, okay. Well, you're about to see it all again.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a reminder.
So
I feel like I remember more of
California
Adventures. Yeah.
So what did you like there the most?
That's where the
Guardians.
Not Tower of Terror, but like that's where that's
Mission
at?
Breakout. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that just because I think we went on it 3 times back to back to back.
I think we ended up doing it a total of 6 times that day.
It makes sense. I remember us doing it like 3 times, just with going on no other rides, because there was like no wait.
Yeah.
It was like virtually like a 5-minute wait. Maybe.
We got really lucky.
I don't know how we did that. I remember that. I remember the Cars ride, and there was I don't remember what ride it was. There was some ride that it was right next to the Incredicoaster as it was being built.
Toy Story Mania?
I want to say that's what it was.
Yeah, their Toy Story Mania is over there. They have like that whole pic. So when we went in 2018, Incredicoaster was being changed to Incredicoaster. They were changing the whole area over there to Pixar Pier. So we did not get to go on Incredicoaster. We did not get to go on the Pixar Pal Around, like the Ferris wheel, basically. But we did get to do their Toy Story Mania, which I don't remember it being that different.
I don't remember. I just remember like the entrance to it being very close to the Incredicoaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too. And then obviously the land that's no longer. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Bugs Life?
Yeah. So we are big Bugs Life fans, and so much so that my 6th birthday was Bugs Life theme, and we just really like the movie. I don't know why. We think it's funny.
It's just a funny movie.
But that we were so excited for this Pixar land, then we get there and we're like,
I think it was like a kid's,
it was like toddler.
I was gonna say like a young kid's
like
ride.
2-year-olds. And so we went on Heimlich's Choo Choo Train and we rode it, and we were just like, wait, what? This is it?
Yeah,
like it was so lame. So we're very excited for Avengers Campus to be there instead, as much as we loved Bugs Life. But I do remember the Monsters Inc. ride being really cute. The dark ride.
What was that one about?
It's like basically going through the movie of Monsters Inc. Like Winnie the Pooh or Mr. Toad or whatever, where you go through the movie. You don't remember it?
I remember
I think
that,
the kids are really going to like that one. It's over by Mission Breakout, kind of.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are kind of the highlights. So, if you had to pick right now, before experiencing it again for a second time, would you pick Disneyland or Disney World, and why?
I would probably pick Disneyland or Disney World?
Yeah.
Disney World.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Like to me, it's funny because we just recently went on a trip with some friends to
Busch Gardens. Oh yeah, we talked about that on your last episode a little bit.
Oh, did we? Okay.
A little bit, but go ahead.
But it's funny when you go to Disney and you start kind of going to all these other parks. I haven't been to the new Islands of, or was it the
Epic Universe?
I'm sure that's kind of cool. That'll be pretty cool sometime to go to. But Disney just does a really good job at the parks, and it's hard for me to believe that collectively there's a park that's better than Universal or Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
I love that park. I think that park has a bunch of rides that are fantastic.
And shows.
So I feel like that part. I know like Disney World is known for Magic Kingdom, and that's what everyone majority people are gonna go there. That's probably where they're gonna go. But for me, it's Hollywood Studios, and I just don't think there's anything at Disneyland that really competes with the collective rides at Hollywood Studios. That's just me.
So what about Disneyland versus Disney California Adventure?
California Adventure, I think.
Really? That's a hot take.
I think because of, so going back to Hollywood Studios, like Toy Story Mania is probably one of my favorite rides of all time. So that's love that ride. Again, for me, the Guardians ride was just it's very similar to the Tower of Terror, but for some reason, I think just because it's Marvel themed, that was fantastic. So I absolutely love that ride. Again, the Cars ride could have been better, but I think that's a pretty cool ride because it's very similar to Test Track. And then I'm super excited to go on the Incredicoaster. So, yeah, I just think probably collectively I would probably California Adventure is a little bit better, but
okay, I feel like that's a pretty hot take.
I don't know what else is at and I guess what are the top rides that are at Disneyland?
Space Mountain, Big Thunder. People like Matterhorn. We don't love Matterhorn.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
Indiana Jones.
That's a cool ride. Yeah, that's a cool ride.
And then those are probably the top. And then now they have Galaxy's Edge. But to me, it's we have that too. So eh. And you don't love Star Wars. That's the Star Wars. It's the same thing. Okay. They have the same Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon.
I guess the determining factor for me would be how cool is the Spider-Man ride? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it if it's I don't know, if it's super for me again, everyone's gonna grade things differently, right? But that could be a determining factor between the two.
Okay. Good. So some memories from when we were at Disneyland last time. I remember taking you on the Mr. Toad ride, and you had never been to it when it was at Magic Kingdom, right? When you were a kid that you remember?
No.
So Maddie loves Mr. Toad. We love watching Sleepy Hollow and Mr. Toad at Halloween time. Well, anytime, but we do watch it every Halloween. And
yeah, Ichabod, Mr. Crane, and Toad are just amazing.
Yeah, he loves it. So I was so excited to bring him to this ride. And I remember waiting in line, and you're like, oh, the cute Toad statue. Oh, this is so cool. The car, the motor car, all this stuff. And then we get off the ride, and you're like, what just happened in this ride? Because, at the end, you, go through hell, and there's, all these devils and pitchforks, and you're like, wait, this is not in the movie. It was, so out there. So, yeah, it was just funny. I remember that. And then I remember going on Splash Mountain, so I will never forget this. We did our Disneyland day first. And so this was like a very long park day. I can't remember if we went back and napped and went back or if we were there just all day. I can't recall. But I think we did go back and nap and then went back to the park because we flew through everything, which we'll talk about their lightning lane system versus ours in a little bit. But we went on Splash Mountain and I convinced Maddie because he's like, I don't want to get wet, like blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we just don't have to sit in the front. It's like Disney World. If you don't sit in the front and you duck, you're not going to get wet. And he's like, okay. And so we go on the ride and we hit that last drop and we got absolutely demolished. Like there's this funny picture. I will post it this week on Instagram if you follow us at Soarin Around WDW on Instagram and at Soarin Around WDW pod on Instagram. And we go from being totally dry to dripping wet. And then I remember we were staying for Fantasmic, and this was towards the end of the night, so it was starting to get colder. Again, we're Florida born. We obviously live in North Carolina now, but we don't do great with cold, Maddie in particular. And so we were in the bathroom like with the hand dryers, like trying to dry ourselves off, and we were freezing during Fantasmic. So yeah, I definitely did not love that. But now Eiley wants to go because it's Tiana's and Maddie hasn't been to Tiana's at Magic Kingdom. So I bought ponchos this year though for us to take.
Yeah, probably a better idea.
Yeah, because our it was like, yeah, your top was wet, but like our butts were soaked. Like it was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that? No. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to show you the pictures. It is so funny. And then their Fantasmic, what do you remember about that versus ours?
Nothing.
Do you remember having to sit on the ground?
No, I don't. I generally don't remember any of this stuff.
Really?
No.
Or the pirate ship?
Maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's been how long now?
7 years.
7 years? Oh.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so that's what I remember most about about Fantasmic is having to sit on the ground and being like, wait, what? Does you sit on the ground? And like, it's cool how they utilize the Tom Sawyer Island to do the show. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I just think Hollywood Studios setup is way better. So yeah, it's interesting. So the lightning lane situation, we basically got there, and so when we did this, I'm trying to remember in 2018, we hadn't been to Disney World except for once since we moved at that time, and that was still when fast passes were free at Disney World. So I remember reading about how you had to pay for them at Disneyland and being like, oh, you have to pay for them, this is so stupid. But then we got there and we basically paid for it, checked in, and started booking stuff, and we flew through Disneyland. I mean, we didn't wait for like anything. And we basically went, I think, right to Indiana Jones, walked on that, and then lightning laned almost everything else we wanted to do. And we did everything we wanted to do by like 2:00. And that's why I think we went back and napped and then came back for the rest of the day. We didn't get to do everything. Like I said, there was some stuff under refurbishment. There was some stuff in Fantasyland that I was like, we have this. We don't need to ride Pooh or Dumbo or whatever. That wasn't our priority that trip. So we didn't do any of that. But yeah, I actually really liked the way their lightning lane system works. But now that we have to pay on the East Coast and you get to pick 3 initially, I like that better, starting with 3 versus the 1. And you can do it ahead of time, which I don't love that. I do wish it was a little more fair and you could do it at check-in with everybody else like they do at Disneyland. But yeah, I'm a little stressed about that because it's just like another learning curve of lightning lanes. Do you remember having to do that or not really? Mm-mm. Yeah. And then Fantasmic we saw, but we did not stay for fireworks. I think the night we went, they didn't have them because they don't do them every night at Disneyland. It could have been because it was a weekday. I really can't remember what day of the weekend that far back why they didn't have them, but I do remember not seeing fireworks and thinking like, how do you do both Fantasmic and fireworks, which we'll get into as we get down to our plans. So for Disney California Adventure, the other thing that stuck out in my brain was just how much of a smaller park it is. Like it felt like half the size of Hollywood Studios even, like just very small and walkable. And I remember the section where Soarin is, and there's that water ride that we didn't do, but it just felt like so discombobulated. Like there was the Little Mermaid in one corner, and then you go to Soarin', and then you're at the Ferris wheel. It just felt like very all over the place. Do you recall that feeling that way at all, or not necessarily?
No, I think I remember is just like getting through, I think, both parks in like half a day.
Yeah, definitely California Adventure. We did not stay for World of Color because I honestly had heard so many mixed reviews from friends who went to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, and most people said it was a watered down Fantasmic with projections basically. But we are hoping to do it this time, or at least I would like to stay with Eiley and see it just to say we've seen it. But we left like probably like dinner time, and I think we went to like Cheesecake Factory for dinner or something. We didn't even eat. I don't remember eating there at all. I don't even remember what we ate for lunch. Do you?
I remember Foodwise was having sprinkles for the first time.
Was that the first time you ever had sprinkles?
First time I ever had sprinkles.
Well, so that's funny. So we did go to the downtown Disney area, which there it is still called Downtown Disney. And we went the night before our first park night, and we ate at their I think it was an ESPN restaurant.
I was gonna say, I do kind of remember that, yeah.
And I remember we like put our name in, then we were walking around, and they called, and they were like, "You have 5 minutes to get here," and we had to like run.
Yeah, we were booking it
from like one end, and it was busy, which is funny. I remember it being crowded then, but like then in the parks, it didn't feel that crowded. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know why.
Yeah, so we had sprinkles, cupcakes. Did we do the ATM or was it a store?
I think it was a store.
Okay.
Store.
And then we also, every morning there, got Jamba Juice.
Did we?
Yes. I'm pretty sure they have a Jamba Juice in downtown Disney. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Jamba Juice or a Smoothie King?
Some kind of smoothie. And we went there every morning before we went to the parks because that is just like, it's Jamba Juice is very reminiscent. Yeah, it is Jamba Juice. That's what we had in undergrad, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, this is a little reminiscent from our undergrad campus and we're going to have some Jamba Juice and... Yeah, they have good smoothies, so it was good. But anyways, so now to get to our pre-trip planning, we are heading out on our 10-year anniversary trip, and we couldn't go back to California and not stop at Disneyland. That's like, asking me to have a mental breakdown. And even though our other destinations are kind of hours away from that area, we still really wanted to make it happen now that the kids are with us, and it's not a place we go to frequently, California. So we were like, all right, if we're already going all the way out here with them, we want to go ahead and just do it all in one trip. So first, let's talk about the plan for the rest of our trip, and then we'll get into the Disneyland stuff. So we are flying into LAX, and this will be on Saturday the 14th. So this will have already happened by the time you guys are hearing this. We land about 10 a.m. LA time. And we have to get our rental car from Avis, which is funny. We are using Avis again. We like them because you can, if you're like a member, which is free, the regular standard membership, you can walk right to the car. You don't have to stop at a counter. You can get free upgrades. We've had like a lot better luck with them. So now I like Avis. It is a little more expensive than using Priceline or other things that we've done before, but paying $75 more to skip the long line with the kids, I feel like it's worth it. Do you feel? Yeah, I feel like it's worth it. And so we got basically a Toyota RAV4 sized vehicle. We're really hoping to be upgraded to a van or a larger SUV, but time will tell. We'll see. The reason being is our stroller situation. So when we had Blake, we got a Mockingbird double stroller, which is front to back. And honestly, it's been an amazing stroller the last few years. But the problem is that Eiley is now about 40 pounds and 42 inches tall, and she really has outgrown it height-wise. It also is getting really hard to push with both kids on any kind of uneven or hilly surfaces, which I realize Disneyland is not hilly, like it's flat. So I get that. But I doubt that she could be comfortable in it enough to actually fall asleep. And so we decided that we would bring our second-hand double bob that we got for free in our neighborhood. However, we had a major problem. It had a fixed front wheel. And so after using it for walks at home in the neighborhood and reading some online advice, we decided to just keep looking for a cheap swivel wheel double bob so that we could have something for this trip that Eiley can fit comfortably in. And luckily, we found a swivel wheel double bob stroller secondhand for $20 on Facebook Marketplace. So it's been my little DIY project as the basket on it was ripped. So I had to basically unscrew these rusted screws, clean it, do a good hose down, and then take the other basket from our fixed wheel bob and put it on this $20 bob that we got from Facebook Marketplace. So I've worked hard to clean it up, and it works a lot better now that we've had the swivel wheel. I mean, It's like a huge difference.
Game changer.
Yeah, it's a game changer. It's huge. So I realize people are going to say, well, you can rent double strollers when you get to Disneyland or when you get, to LAX, but the cost of it was a lot. And so we would either have to pay for it our whole trip or try to find a way to stop and have it delivered at a certain time. It was just getting too stressful. So we decided to go ahead and just pay for the double bob here, which was cheap, and bring it with us. But that makes our space in the trunk extremely limited. So we're going to have to be very careful with our packing. So we are not planning to check any bags, but Blake is over 2, so we have to pay for a ticket for her, which means she can have a standard carry-on size. We are flying Delta, so we can use regular carry-on bags for each of us. And then we have to fit all 4 carry-ons and the double bob in the trunk of our rental car. But luckily, with the wheels off on the bob, this shouldn't be a problem. With the suitcases stacked, we might have to put one of them in the middle seat in the back, but we will see. We'll also see how packing goes with only using carry-on size bags for a 2-week trip with 2 kids who require a lot of different things like pull-ups, wipes, toddler mattress, sheet, sound machine, baby monitor, all that stuff. But I've started packing, and it looks like it's going to be okay, so we'll see. Our current plan on day 1 is to spend most of the morning exploring Santa Monica Pier with the kids and grabbing lunch before we head up to Monterey, which is about a 6-hour drive without stops. We plan to get there around bedtime, and the reason we're doing this instead of just getting in the car and driving is after being on a plane for 5 hours, our kids would not do well immediately getting in a car and driving to Monterey. So we decided to go down to Santa Monica Pier. Have you been there? Did we go there last time?
Mm-hmm.
You went onto the pier?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Maybe not.
We saw it.
Maybe not, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we just saw it.
I went when I was like in 9th grade, but I don't think you and I went down there, so I couldn't remember. But yeah, it'll be cool to see that area. And it always reminds me of the movie Cellular. And also when Eileen and I were watching the Hannah Montana movie, I was like, oh, this Santa Monica Pier, really cool. But anyways, we will be in Monterey from Saturday night through Friday morning, and Madi's family will be there. And we have plans to do the aquarium, which we didn't get to do when we were there last time, as well as this e-bike tour. And the rest of the time, we'll just kind of be exploring the area and enjoying the views. Last time we went on this whale watching tour, quote unquote, and saw absolutely no whales. But we did take bikes down to the lighthouse and loved the views along the way. But what are you looking forward to most about Monterey?
Probably the aquarium.
Yeah, because we didn't get to do it.
Yeah, we didn't do it last time. But the ocean side's really pretty. It's just a very, peaceful town. It's just very quiet and just very calming.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to do the aquarium for sure, just because of how much it gets talked up, and because it's in Finding Dory.
Yeah.
So super excited about that part.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to most too. I think I am excited about the e-bike tour. That will be fun. But yeah, the aquarium is very highly rated, so that will be good. And then Friday morning, we are going to head up to San Francisco and show the girls the Golden Gate Bridge before we go to the Walt Disney Family Museum. So we went here in 2008 and I loved it. So we actually did that first on our trip before Disneyland on our way down the coast. And I can't wait to go back and see more. But what do you remember about the museum when we went before?
Not a whole bunch.
Okay, you're contributing minimal to this podcast today, sir. You don't remember it?
I remember the museum. I remember it's like at the bottom of the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Or like underneath
very
it or something
close.
like that.
Yeah.
I remember there being like a Walt Disney like an art school or something that was by it, right?
I don't remember that.
I feel like it was like an art school or something.
Maybe like a San Francisco art school or something like that had.
I thought it was a school that he had purchased or something like that.
Oh, I can't remember.
But I remember the museum being pretty cool, like telling the history of his life and everything. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I remember most walking in and seeing all the Oscars that he won for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and then at the end, all the little models of like his original plans for Disneyland and like tiny little models of the park. Like I remember that a lot too.
Why am I thinking that there was something specifically dedicated to Mary Poppins there? Was there something?
I don't know. I don't remember that part, but probably because that was one of his earlier, when he was still alive, movies. Oh, that reminds me of Saving Mr. Banks. We love that movie. Okay, yeah. And then we will grab some lunch and continue on to the south side of Lake Tahoe where we're staying. We will be in Lake Tahoe Friday to Sunday, and we plan on doing the MS Dixie Big Paddle Wheel Boat Tour, which is about 2 hours, just kind of driving around the lake, or which is about 2 hours long. And then we will just drive around the lake and explore the area, maybe do some small hikes. So Tahoe was your choice for our new stop on the trip. So we basically tried to do, we've been to Monterey. We are going there because Madi's family was having their family vacation there that we try to do with them every other year or so. And then we're going to go to Disneyland, but we've been there too. So we each, for our 10-year anniversary, wanted to pick a place we hadn't been in the area to explore, and Tahoe was your first choice. So is there anything in particular you're wanting to see, or really just like the lake itself and the surrounding areas?
I think it's just just how diverse like the landscape is.
Yeah.
From what I've kind of heard other people say, it's, you can have more of like kind of like almost like a coastal kind of vibe, but then also have like the mountains there, kind of all in one. So I think it'll be very unique to kind of see, because I've even heard people talk about going like skiing and stuff like this time of the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it because I feel like it reminds me a little bit of Lake Lure vibes, like the mountains and the ocean, but even more beautiful. And the water is supposed to be like incredible, like really pretty blue. So yeah, that'll be good to see. And then my choice of a new stop was Yosemite. So Sunday late morning, we're going to drive down to Groveland, where we're staying at the Rush Creek Lodge right outside of Yosemite. And this was a little bit of a splurge for us. It was pretty expensive, but we aren't big campers or hikers. And by aren't, I mean like we don't hike or camp ever at all. So we plan to take the Yarts bus into Yosemite Village on our first day and do the Valley Floor tour with the kids, and probably a small flat walk with the stroller to get some pictures and the great views. So we have it all booked. Hopefully no major meltdowns, because it will require traveling in and out of the park on the Yarts bus in order to get in without having an actual park reservation. That was the most stressful part for me, was like trying to figure out the reservation system for Yosemite. That really overwhelmed me. So the Yarts bus was a good answer for that. The second full day, we had planned to do a Jeep tour, but it ended up being sold out by the time that I went to book it for that day. And I thought, okay, that's like the way of God telling us we need a little bit of a break. And so we're going to just have a chill day at the hotel, let the kids swim in the pool probably if it's warm enough, and just do some stuff around the resort, probably get some laundry done because we'll be a little more than halfway through our trip. So we'll probably have some stuff to wash and everything. But what are you looking forward to most in Yosemite? Is Yosemite somewhere that you've wanted to go, or was this not even something like on your list to try?
Yeah, no.
It wasn't?
No.
It's so funny. I feel like it's like a huge thing like most people have on their bucket list.
What's in Yosemite?
It's a national park.
Yeah, I know. But like
mountains, waterfalls, like there's really cool hikes that we're not going to do, but like there's like beautiful views. I've shown you pictures of Yosemite. So that's what we're going to do for my choice of our stop. Just something unique to do with the kids, and we're in the area, so we wanted to do that while we were out there. And then we will be heading down to Anaheim after we get up that day, which is another long drive, about 6.5 hours without stops. Once we arrive to Anaheim, it'll probably be dinner time and time to wind down since we have an early morning the next day. My plan is to do dinner in downtown Disney and stop probably at the Black Craft Tap Burgers and Shakes for the Cotton Candy Crazy Shake for dessert. But we'll have to see how tired everyone is and where we're at with everything, how everyone's feeling. But yeah, it'll be cool to go back to downtown Disney and see. I think it's changed a lot down there, but I like theirs because it's just kind of right in the middle of the parks. Everything is just like so walkable there. That is the one thing that's a benefit of it being a smaller area. And then we are staying at the Hilton Anaheim right across the street this time, which is where Regan, Mom, and his wife Steph stayed when they went in December 2018 after we went on our trip. It is very close to the parks, but the walk time still says about 20 minutes, and we will see how long it really takes. But supposedly we are each getting a special lanyard and pin package with our resort and ticket package that we booked, so I'm excited to see that. And our first day is California, so are you looking forward to most Spider-Man or Incredicoaster, or which thing is at the top of your list to see there?
For which park?
California Adventure.
Yeah, probably that or Incredicoaster.
Okay.
Those are probably my two ones that I'm most looking forward to.
Okay. Yeah. So our plan right now is the park is open that day. So this is Thursday, June 26th. So tomorrow when this comes out, the park opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 9 p.m. So our plan is to rope drop web slingers and possibly lightning lane this to do again later. We'll have to see, but we're going to go on that at 8. Our first lightning lane we're going to choose is Mission Breakout just because we already know we love it. We're going to want to go on it more than once potentially if we can. And this does have a 40-inch height requirement. So we might do web slingers, see how long the line is for that. I'll let Madi and Eiley go on that first. I'll take Blake over to the either Disney Junior Dance Party or like the Monsters Inc. ride while Madi and Eiley get off, and then we'll swap and Eiley can go on it again with me. And then we can do Monsters Inc. all together afterwards. I do want to see their PhilharMagic. Madi and Blake have not seen that in a long time. Blake's never seen it. Madi hasn't seen it with the updated scenes. I would love to get over to the Spider-Man meet and greet and Spider-Man show. And Spider-Man is usually out, it says, from like around 10:15 to 8:30. Like the first show is usually around 10. So that should be good timing. We'll see. And then kind of walk around and meet some characters until we have our Cars Lightning Lane single pass. We do plan to pay for that for the Radiator Racers because otherwise the line is just like so long. But a lot of the unique characters that they have at DCA that we don't have at Disney World are Judy Hopps, Nick Wilde, Luisa Bruno, Anger, and Baymax. And then go over to Cars Land, hopefully do that single pass for Radiator Springs Racers, and have Blake ride the Mater's Junkyard Jamboree and Luigi's Rocking Roadsters while we're waiting, and then do rider swap with Eiley. I'm so bummed that Blake is not tall enough to do the Cars ride, because for whatever reason, like both kids have been very into Cars lately.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, we like Cars, but they really like Cars. It's just funny hearing Owen Wilson's voice. Like, every time they watch that, I'm like, this does not fit for me. And then go get some lunch. Potentially go back to the room to nap and rest. Maybe I'll just take Blake. Maybe all of us will go back. We'll just kind of have to see where everyone's at and how tired we all are. And then after resting, go to the Pixar Pal Around, not the swinging one. We're just doing the standard one. And the Incredicoaster, hopefully for a lightning lane. Going to maybe see the Pixar little cavalcade parade thing. And at the 5 o'clock one, then going over to Goofy Sky School. And while Eiley and Madi do that, I can take Blake on the Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind potentially. We'll kind of let Eiley pick what she wants to do. Get some dinner. Maybe do Soarin' if we can get a lightning lane for that. And while, we swap, do Ariel with Blake. Meet some characters that looked like they're usually out later at DCA, where Clarabelle Cow, Captain America, Captain Marvel, those are usually the ones that are out later in the day. And we are bringing our standard frame mat that we have, character sign. We got a new one for this trip, so we'll be getting signatures as well. And then do Toy Story Mania, potentially with a lightning lane. And then see World of Color at 9. So Madi might take Blake back before this, to kind of depending how she's doing, how he's doing. But I really want to stay and watch this with Eiley if she's up to it, just because we never got to see it before. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the unique characters there and getting to do some stuff. I think the character you would be most excited about meeting is Spider-Man.
Hands down.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's a big one that you and the kids are very excited. Eiley was very sad that they don't have Ghost Spider.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, she really loves Ghost Spider. And then our outfits for this day, I'm going to post some flat lays on the Instagram, but the girls are wearing these Buzz Lightyear dresses from Presley Couture with these Buzz ears and black leggings underneath if it's cold. I'm going to be wearing this purple athletic dress with Buzz ears, and then Madi has a Pizza Planet shirt with his Buzz hoodie. So we'll all be very Toy Story themed for this park. So our second day is Disneyland, and we'll most likely do an early start, go back and nap, and then go back for the evening. Again, just kind of depends how everyone's doing. Do we feel like we want to go back and nap? Did the kids already fall asleep in the stroller? Like, where are we at? But there are a lot of late shows that night and the Paint the Night Parade. So which rides at Disneyland are you looking forward to experiencing again? or for the first time?
Well, I think I'm excited again to see Space Mountain, because I don't remember that at all.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. And then getting to do Pirates, since we didn't get to do it, and it's totally different.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
So that day, the park, Disneyland, is open 8 till midnight. So obviously very long hours. It is a Friday, so it's going to be busy. This is Friday, June 27th. And our plan, again, these are all plans. I know they're probably going to change based on availability, but this is what we're thinking. We're going to leave the hotel to arrive at the park by 7:15, which our kids get up early, so that should be fine. We will rope drop Big Thunder Mountain and then Lightning Lane it again later potentially, but do that first thing in the morning. And then head over to Fantasyland and try to knock out a bunch of those rides. I heard that's kind of the way to do it here, is either start in Fantasyland or go to Space Mountain. And so we're going to do Big Thunder and then go to Fantasyland. We want to do Snow White over there because we don't have it. Alice in Wonderland, Mr. Toad, Pinocchio, and It's a Small World potentially, depending how long the wait is at that point. We might have to Lightning Lane that one later. But we are going to pick Space Mountain as our first choice for our first Lightning Lane. And then hopefully we can kind of cluster Tomorrowland together and do Astro Blasters. It's weird, the Nemo ride is over in Tomorrowland, so maybe Madi will take Eiley on that. And then train over to Haunted Mansion, do that, hopefully with a Lightning Lane. And while we're over there, I'm looking forward to snacking in Disneyland as I did at Magic Kingdom. And one big snack there that I want to try is a regular Disneyland churro, because everyone says that's the best snack in all of Disneyland, and a 70th Disneyland churro. Do you like churros?
I don't know if I've ever had one.
What?
Yeah.
You've never had a churro?
I don't think so.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, it's like cinnamon sugar. It's like right up your alley.
That sounds good.
That's like one dessert thing you like, is like cinnamon sugary stuff like Snickerdoodle. That's the cupcake we got at Sprinkles, wasn't it? Snickerdoodle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Maddie's like favorite sweet thing. And then going over to Pirates of the Caribbean and eating lunch at Pizza Planet, which we did not eat at last time, shockingly. I don't remember where we ate in Disneyland. And I think we kept leaving the park and eating outside the park and going back. But anyway, so eating lunch, and there they also have this cute little alien 70th macaroon, which looks adorable. So I want to try that. Some different characters that we might have time to meet depending on if we go back and nap or whatnot that we don't have so easily here in Disney World would be Mary Poppins and Bert, Miguel from Coco, Alice, Mad Hatter, Pinocchio, Tiana, only because we didn't get to meet her at Magic Kingdom and Eiley was distraught, Geppetto, and Eeyore. And then when we come back in the later afternoon, hopefully will be time for our Indiana Jones Lightning Lane, Tiana's, maybe, depending on the weather and how everybody's feeling about getting wet. And then do the Disneyland Railroad over to Toontown and try the Miss Daisy drink at Daisy's Cafe, the Chip 'n Dale Gadget Coaster, because that's something that Blake is tall enough to do, so we'd like to try that with her. Potentially Roger Rabbit. I remember we did do this last time, but it tends to have a really long wait, so that'll just depend where we're at with Lightning Lanes. Maybe Mickey's Runaway Railway, again, depends on the wait in the Lightning Lanes, but we do have that over here. We want to see the queue more than anything, because I've heard that's the best part of the one over there. And then we did book the River Belle Terrace standard dining package for $555. And the reason I decided to do this was because I was getting very stressed about being able to do Fantasmic and Paint the Night. And I didn't want to waste a ton of time having to get to a spot to sit for Fantasmic super early. The kids can't be in the stroller while they wait. And so I was like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and book a book a dining package for this. And I think it'll be good to have a sit down dinner, get, a little bit, not just like burgers and fries food. It should be good. So I'm looking forward to that. But last time we did just do like a regular, we ate quick service or ate wherever and then went back and sat down super early. So hopefully that will be worth it. And then maybe go meet Mickey and Minnie in their 70th attire. Again, we'll just have to see how long the lines are. Maybe take Eiley on Big Thunder again. See the 9 o'clock show for Fantasmic. And then the fireworks, you can watch the projections from the Fantasmic spot. So you just kind of stay right there, watch the fireworks. And then when everybody's leaving, go get a spot for Paint the Night at 10:45. So it'll be a very late night, which is why I think going back for a nap will probably be critical. But we'll just have to see, because it's like, we're not there very often. I don't know when we're going to go back with the kids. So we just want to try to do everything. But yeah, what do you think about that day?
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I know, Maddie's looking at this like, great, okay, this
sounds exhausting.
I feel like that's how you always
need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long trip, but there's a lot to do with the 70th and treats to try, and so we'll see. Sometimes, Maddie will take Blake back to Napa, or I'll take Blake back to Napa, or we can just kind of see if we all want to go back. But because we'll all be in one hotel room, I mean, by that point we'll have a pretty good idea of how napping is going all together. When we're in Monterey, we're in an Airbnb, so we all have separate space. When we're in Lake Tahoe, we are at a Hilton Grand Vacations Club, so we have a separate room. But then once we get to Yosemite, we're all in one room. And then at Disneyland, we're all in one room. And this is the first time we're traveling with Blake not in a pack and play. She climbed out of her bed last fall, and so she's not in a pack and play. So that's going to be super interesting. And I think she and Eiley could not share a bed. They just kick each other all night long. They both move a lot in their sleep. So we have a blow-up mattress for Blake. We're going to try it. It's just going to be very interesting to see how all this goes. So anyway, that is the plan. And then we are going to head back to North Carolina. Our flight the next day is at 12:40. So we have to return the rental car. We'll have to be there probably about 10 o'clock or so. But we are going to hopefully be able to sleep in a little bit if the kids will sleep in, and then get up and eat some breakfast before we head over to LAX. So I thought about doing an early character breakfast reservation at one of the hotel restaurants, but I honestly think we'll just be so wiped from the 2 really busy weeks away from home and 2 really busy park days right in a row that I decided against doing that. But we did give ourselves a buffer day, and we have Sunday totally at home, no work. Hopefully with the time adjustment back, it'll go okay. That will be a little bit of a process. And Maddie is also off on Monday, so that's good. We also have a short week because of 4th of July. So it'll be good to have, another long weekend on the other end of that week to kind of get readjusted. And Eiley's out of school, so she'll be home. Maddie's mom's coming to visit. She'll be home with his mom. Blake will be in daycare most likely. I'm sure she'll be going back. So yeah, that is everything. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
But it's going to be a really fun 2 weeks.
It will be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a great way to celebrate our anniversary and get to do, an extended trip. And this all kind of came about because Maddie's mom, like I said, we do kind of a trip with them every other year. 2 years ago, we went to Colorado for a week, which was really fun. And this year she picked Monterey. And we were like, okay, well, we're paying to fly all the way out there. And yeah, it's just going to be a place we've already been. So let's just add on to it for our anniversary and do some different stuff and get to do fun stuff with the kids. But Eiley is, itching to get to Disney ever since her birthday trip in March. Every single day she asks when we can go again. She just is in that perfect age range of where she loves it. She doesn't need to nap. It's just all so exciting and fun. She's tall enough for almost everything. So the only things she won't be able to go on are the Incredicoaster and the Indiana Jones ride, which we were talking about. I was talking with my dad about that. Basically, like, it's interesting. Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom, it's a 40-inch height requirement, but Indiana Jones is 46 inches and Eiley's about 44 inches. So I don't think she'll be tall enough by then to, by the time we're on this trip to go. I haven't remeasured her in a little while, but when we went in March, she was 44 inches. So we'll see. But yeah, as you're listening to this, if you don't follow us on Instagram, go over to the Instagram at Soarin Around WDW Pod so that you can see. I'll be posting on stories, all this, fun, different content. We'll be at the parks at the same time as some of you guys. So if we run into you, that would be awesome. I know a few people and podcasters and influencer people that I follow have mentioned that they're going to be there. So that would be fun to get to say hi and meet up and everything. But yeah, it's going to be a really packed trip, but a really fun trip. And looking forward to getting to experience Disneyland again with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is it for tonight. Thanks, Maddie, for coming back on.
Thanks for having me. And
we will see you guys next week. Have a good week. Hey, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at Soarin Around WDW Pod, where we share fun reels, throwback photos, and dive into our old versus new debates. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And for our Spotify listeners, a follow and a 5-star review would mean the world. If you're listening on Apple, hit that 5-star button and leave us a written review as well. Thanks again for joining us. See you next time.